One narrative the world is selling to my Gen Zs and Gen Zs like me right now as regards relationship is the fact that you don't owe it to anybody. You don't need to explain anything to anybody. You hear slangs being thrown around, slangs like resist the urge to shalaye or I don't owe anybody any explanation. You hear people say things like you do you boo, do what makes you happy, it doesn't matter, everybody will be fine. And while I understand the context of that, there's also an extreme to that. And these things that are trending might be what might hinder one person, two people, three people from actually enjoying the fullness in their relationship or their marriage, just because they have resisted the urge to shalaye, or because they believe that they do not owe anybody any explanation, or they do not owe anybody, they don't need to take responsibility to anybody. It's their life, they decide how they want to live it, when they want to live it, and that's on it, period. If you are somebody like this and you're looking to improve, or you are just looking for ways to make your marriage better through accountability, then this video is for you. Stay with me. You're welcome. Thank you so much for joining me today on the Grace Generation Ministry. My name is bookoluwatosinsanusi, and this is the Grace Generation Ministries. So today we're going to be talking about practical ways to move your love from where it is to where it ought to be through accountability. How you can build accountability, how your love can become more transparent, and that accountability strengthens the bond. And through accountability, you can strengthen the bond of your marriage. So if you do not know how to do that, let me run you through it, and I assure you that this would be helpful when you apply it. So the first thing when you want to be intentional about building accountability in your marriage is that you need to be open and you need to be honest about everything. So you're not holding back information intentionally. You are opening up as you know these things, and you are not intentionally keeping secrets, right? In your marriage, you're not keeping secrets in your marriage. You are saying things as they are. You are letting your partner know what is going on, what it is about you, about a third party, about your marriage, but you are keeping each other in the loop of things. So nobody is caught unaware rather about a situation or about a circumstance. You are open and you are honest to each other. And another way is, the number two is for you to communicate regularly. So a lot of us have streamlined our communication to when we are communicating about children, if you have children already. So you are communicating just about your children, or you are communicating just about struggles, challenges, but have intellectual conversations as well. Talk about the weather, talk about things that each other like, communicate intellectually, talk about things outside of your children, outside of your current circumstances. Dream together and talk about it. Communicate when you're dreaming together. Have plans, communicate about those plans. Also communicate about your current circumstances, but don't just become roommates or partners, people who just talk about things. Dream together, talk about various things. Let it not just be the overwhelming things that you talk about every time. Go for a walk together and just talk about yourselves, talk about your love life, talk about your relationship, talk about your future together, and not just the overwhelming things, right? The number three way that you can build accountability in your marriage is to take responsibility for your mistakes. So if your partner sees something that you're not doing right, and they call you out on it to say, oh, Mark, I don't like what you do, I don't like how you do this, I would appreciate if you did this way, this that way, and it will make me feel better if you do it this way. Taking responsibility to say, oh, I did not mean to make you feel uncomfortable with the way I did things, or to make you feel angry, or with the way I did things. I'll take note of the things that you have said, and I'll see a way to factor it into that. We can both be on the same page with this. So taking responsibility, not say, oh, it's because of how you talk to me that makes me act that way, or it's because of how you work that makes me put things that way, or it's because of how you said it that makes me, take responsibility. And then if there's something that your partner is also not doing right, that might be the reason that is contributing, also call them out on it, but not in a way of shifting blames, right? The fourth thing you need to do is to respect agreed upon boundaries. So as a couple, you have boundaries you have agreed upon as regards your finances, as regards in-laws, as regards speaking with third party, as regards your children, as regards how you want to raise your family. You have boundaries that you have set in place to protect your marriage, to protect your love, to protect your children. So respect those boundaries. Don't, because of another person, break the boundaries that you have set in your marriage. Respect those boundaries regardless of who it is outside. Remember, it's you and your partner against the world. And of course, this is within a healthy marriage context, right? Not a toxic marriage, but within a healthy marriage context. So not picking the outsiders over your partner, right? When your marriage is healthy, of course. And the fifth thing you can do is to be true to your word. So when you say you're going to do something, actually do it. And if you are not able to do it for some reasons, communicate, right? Be open and be honest about it. Say, I said I was going to do this thing, but man, I was extremely tired. I did not have the motivation to do it. I will try and do it tomorrow, or something. Communicate about it. Just don't assume that the other person will understand. And the sixth thing that you can do is to be present and to be involved in your marriage. Be involved in your marriage, be involved in your relationship. Don't be an outsider in your own relationship. Don't be a bystander. Don't be an onlooker in your own marriage. Be involved, be actively present, and be actively involved in each other's lives. So be present during your big wins. Be present also during the times that things are not going so well. But be present regardless, that your partner knows that even if I'm not looking back, I know that my partner has got my back, and I know that they are holding my hand. We are together through whatever season, good, bad, that we might be in. So I know that, and I know that my partner is with me, right? The seventh thing is that don't talk down on your partner. When you start, what happens is when you start to talk down on your partner, they will not feel safe again to share anything with you. So they'll start withholding things, and then you see that being open and honest that we mentioned at the beginning is not going to happen anymore. And then when secrets begin to enter into the marriage, then a lot of baggage is already entering, and the devil is already having a lot of food, having a footstool to penetrate into the marriage, already having legal ground to penetrate into the marriage, because you all are no longer united in your heart and in your minds and in your spirit. So it's important that you don't talk down on your partner. So even when they share something that you presumably don't think is smart, or you don't understand, you don't talk down on them. So that's a very dumb thing to say. Or can't you be smarter than that? Or are you foolish? And you say all sorts of demeaning words to them. What they'll do is next time they're going to lock up. So even if they have an information that will make your marriage better, or even your life better, because of how they already perceive that you're going to react, they would rather keep quiet than be disrespected. And you're not doing yourself any good, or your marriage any good. So it's important that you, even when you are hurt, I hear people when they're hurt say all sort of things to their partner. That's not a very good look. That's not a very nice thing to say. It's not something to even say to an outsider, how much more your partner. You should not use demeaning words. No matter how angry you are, train your mind, train yourself, train your speech, that those words are not even close to the things that will come out of your mouth, even when you are angry, right? The eighth thing to do if you want to build accountability in your marriage is to set and pursue goals together. So as a family, set goals together. Have a vision board. Set goals, set things together, and hold yourselves accountable to it. So we want to achieve this as a family. What's my part? What do I do on my part? What do you do on your part? And have like weekly, monthly, quarterly reports on it, progress reports, to say, oh, I've done this, oh, I couldn't do this as much as I thought, or even just as it comes, right? Oh, I thought I was going to be able to do it, but it's not looking very visible anymore. Is there an alternative to still help us to be able to achieve this, but doing this another way, right? So have conversations around that and set goals. and pursue it together. It gives you a sense of togetherness and belongingness, knowing that we're doing this as our family. We are building our family, we are building our love, we are building our marriage. It just gives you that sense of belongingness, that I belong here. This is my place, this is my safe place, these are my people. The ninth thing you need to do is to stay connected to your growth as individuals. So as you have set the goals and you're pursuing them, stay connected, stay committed to the growth together, stay committed to growing together. You should take your partner along when you're growing. You shouldn't just leave your partner there when you are growing, investing in yourself. So make sure that your partner is growing along with you. If you see materials that will be helpful to your partner and you don't want to give them directly, to say, oh, this is, there are ways around these things, right? You can find a very creative way to let them in on that material, or even run them through the summary of the material, and you've already shared the information you want them to know, right? Or play it when they are seated there, so they are listening to it while it's playing. There's so many ways you can do that, but be committed to your growth together. Set these goals and pursue it actively, and stay committed to it. You are going to have yourselves to thank at the end of the day when you begin to see the results. And lastly, pray together. When you pray together, you are able to sift through even emotions, especially when you are both committed to God and you are intentional about your relationship with God. So even when you've started to keep secrets, or there's no longer unity in your heart with each other, when you're coming together to pray, the Holy Spirit begins to point out those things. It begins to let you know that this and this is happening in your marriage and you need to do something about it. You need to do better. You need to be intentional. You need to put some methods or things in place to be able to help you rise above that and be more intentional. So praying together strengthens every other thing that you do. And even sometimes when your heart is deceptive, or when your emotions are rising above the right thing for you to do, when you pray, the Holy Spirit is always able to point it out to let you know that you are acting in your emotions and it's not going to benefit your marriage. So you're going to be able to drop your ego, or however way you feel, maybe even when you're hurt, and be able to forgive. Or even when you feel like you're the one that is right, you should not apologize, and then the Holy Spirit lets you know that apologize, let down your ego and apologize for the peace and the unity of your marriage, right? At the end of the day, it's about your marriage thriving, not at the expense of your health or your well-being or your relationship with God, but also as a catalyst as well. So as your relationship with God is growing, your marriage should also have that ripple effect of the beautiful relationship that you and God are then having. So you should have a ripple effect to every other thing. Our life stems out of our spiritual life, our walk with God, to every other areas of our lives. So how good our work with God is, or how the growth in our work with God should be reflected in every other areas of our lives. And that brings me to the end of this video. So these 10 things are going to help you to be able to intentionally build accountability in your marriage, and then you can see that you and your partner will live in transparency. Your love will be transparent. There'll be no hidden things, there'll be no forming for each other, there'll be no, you both be vulnerable, open, honest with each other, genuinely liking each other, genuinely loving each other, genuinely growing together, and also united oneness in every areas of your life. And then the doors of the enemy shut, again, the doors of your marriage rather is shut against the enemy, and God can be glorified in your marriage. So please take these things, it will help you put them to action. If you have any questions specific, you could send me a DM. My socials are always in the comment section, or you could put it as a comment. I look forward to hearing from you. Please like, please share, please subscribe, please tell a friend to tell another friend. Thank you so much for watching this video. Have a lovely weekend ahead.